So I'm gonna have to show my age as a millennial a little bit this video because I'm actually really excited about this one. Because it looks like we might be getting an actual like printed media for video games again, which is not something that really happens anymore. But this used to be how we got our video game news, right? And I know that all printed media, magazines, newspapers, whatever, are going downhill. But this is how we used to get our video game news, right? We got it through these video game related magazines, which for me was Nintendo Power mostly. Or we actually just got our news through the like Toys R Us ads that used to come in the newspaper. That's how I remember as a kid finding out there was a new Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles game. It was because I just found it in a Toys R Us ad. So that's worked. That's what we had without the internet. So, but as a kid, I loved Nintendo Power. I played everything Nintendo. I didn't get into PlayStation until Final Fantasy X. I didn't get into Xbox until Halo 2, so I was a bit later to those. But Nintendo Power is how it gave us our gaming news. It gave us essentially strategy guides, like hints and tips. It had games built into it. It was so much fun to see constantly. I actually remember my elementary school actually had the like Nintendo Power, the old magazines. They might still actually have it because there's a box of them. You could just pull them out and find your favorite games on the cover. And I love Nintendo Power. But PlayStation had their own magazine. Xbox had their own magazine. And then there were independent publishers. And this is how we got our media. And a lot of even like modern video game news sites that you might go to their website, you might follow them on X or Instagram or whatever, started off as a magazine, and then they transformed into an online source when the internet became more prevalent. But yeah, unfortunately, printed media sort of lost to the internet's accessibility and timeliness. But Game Informer magazine might have been the last printed media before it was shut down by its owner, GameStop, last year in 2024, almost exactly a year ago. GameStop has been interesting in the past year or two. But about a year later, Game Informer has announced that it's returning its publishing, both online and in printed media, which is strange because a lot of these printed sources just don't happen anymore. So them coming back online is nothing, but them announcing they're going to do printed media again is bizarre because nobody does printed media for video games anymore. But their editor-in-chief, Matt Miller, announced not only with their media revival, but all the publication staff that they lost when GameStop let them go will also be rejoining, which is really crazy to think about that they were still able to pick all these people up and how devoted they are to their publishing. But the company is picking up where they left off. They're going to be covering games and events that actually happened in 2024 while they were gone, as they stated that they don't want to have this kind of gap in their publishing, and they still want to celebrate some of the cool stuff that happened in gaming in 2024. But the company itself is no longer owned by GameStop. It is now owned by Gunzilla Games, the studio behind games like Off the Grid. But in a blog post, it was stated that Game Informer will still remain a completely editorial independent from their parent company. So details on their return haven't been specified yet, although they did announce a physical and an online return. But they did mention some more robust membership and subscription offers that will be revealed soon once they get more details. We don't actually know when their printed media is going to come out or what's going to even be on their first issue again. But it should be really exciting. But I would be really interested to hear what other people think. I think printed media is kind of going away, and I don't see this succeeding, although I really do want it to succeed. I think there's a reason that printed media has kind of gone to the side, because most gaming news, you can just follow people on companies on X and get your news. You don't even have to go to their website as much anymore. Although I'm sure some companies like GameStop and IGN still get quite a bit of traffic. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the printed media is going to work, but this got me really excited because I used to really love being able to, I looked forward to my Nintendo Power every subscription. So this has been kind of cool to reminisce on how we got our news when we were younger. But regardless, let me know your thoughts. Do the general YouTube stuff. Since I'm a small creator, I appreciate it, and I'll see you later. Bye.